What about for your values? I mean, is 8 years old too young?
Yeah, I mean, look, I now that I have a 9-year-old, just became 9. Come on, man, I get it. So those are legit. You know, it's interesting. Just the issue of age. I haven't. It's interesting. As someone that's been so focused on equality broadly, LGBT rights, particularly gay marriage. The trans issue for me is also novel. It's over the last few years. I'm trying to understand as much as anyone else. Whole pronoun thing, trying to understand all of that. What that was like the hell. I mean, all that stuff. I get it. All this stuff started to collapse on us. I joked with Charlie about Latinx. You know,
It's like he was created in a lab to be a politician. What did he just say there? I mean, he's one of the best at that I've ever seen. Hey, man, I get it. I understand. I'm a 9-year-old LGBT. I don't even know. Does that work? I guess it does work. He's governor of California. Joining me now, Jennifer Galardi knows a little something about California and that slick-haired freak, Gavin Newsom. She's a senior policy analyst with the Heritage Foundation. Jennifer, look, I hate to say this because it doesn't work on me, and it's certainly the slick hair only makes me jealous, but that doesn't work on people, right?
I'm sorry. I lost it with the sign languaging. So maybe sign
I
language
know.
works for some people, but Jesse, I don't know. I can't, this little thing, I'm like, is he doing the Trump dance? I literally am crying because I heard that clip, but I didn't see it in the flesh until just now. And I think what's his name? The guy on Greg Gutfeld, Tyrus he's like, he's sign languaging with a prostitute, a deaf prostitute. So I apologize. I need to gather my thoughts. Um, you
You
know,
know,
I go ahead if you wanted to
go
jump
ahead.
in.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, every now and then I get some gems on Facebook from my liberal friends. This is always like my lab, right? I look on Facebook to see, I do it daily just to see what some of my old cohort are saying. And I'm sad to say it does work on some people because there is a response from someone, and I'm just reading verbatim. Love this. If only the rest of the country gave Newsom a chance. I love him, smart and quick on his feet. But when I travel to the Midwest or South, damn, they hate him and hate us. They call us evil. And someone else said he is effing incredible. The ability to call out the facts and stats and just state the truth. I mean, they really believe he is the next coming of Jesus. Like maybe it is the hair. I don't know. It's weird because they don't ever think about the policies. I'm like, are they not living in California? Are they not living under this? Do they not feel the pressure of the gas prices and the cost of living? Do they not care that their children are being indoctrinated? Do they not care that he flip-flops on every single issue? One day he's hanging the gay pride flag, and the next day he's like, oh, I don't know, it's weird. He's doing, I don't know about the whole pronoun thing. We never used it. He was busting out. I don't understand. I think they're so buried in their ideological views that they can't actually see who he is and how he operates.
Jen, what do the normies think about him? I know what you and I think about him, and I know what your friends who snort lines of SSRIs think about him, but I'm talking about the normal human being. He just comes off to me as very used carsman-y, but again, rising to the position of governor of California is no small thing. He's selling himself to somebody.
Yeah, again, I think those outside of California see it. I don't think he has a shot at the presidential. I mean, maybe he'll take the nomination, but I don't see them as putting him as the front runner because I think most people do see beyond his salesman shtick, his hair, his sign language, and but what's sad is like he's even below. I believe I saw the poll Kamala Harris. I think she is the who most Democrats want to see in the prime in 2028 run. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is great news
Yeah.
for us. what I can't fathom is I've been listening to podcasts. I guess he's making the rounds now, Rahm Emanuel. I'm like, that's your guy. That's the guy who's intelligent, who can speak logically, who has maybe we might not agree with the solutions, but he actually has some solutions, I think. And so they don't want that though. They want socialism. They want Mondami. They want the crazy extreme. And I think it's working for the younger demographic of that party. And that's where the momentum is in that party, the AOCs, the Mondamis. It's gonna be fun, I guess.
Yeah. Look, I'd be lying if I said I'm shocked that Kamala Harris is on top of Newsom. But setting that aside, let's talk about the trans issue stuff. This is not popular. It's more than just, men and women's sports. It's not popular. To normal people, it's weird, it's freaky, they don't understand it. It's a loser, always has been a loser for the Democrat Party. But are they so trapped in it they can't get out of it? Because they can read poll numbers, as dumb as they are. They know they're unpopular on this. Can they get out?
I mean, again, they should, but they won't. I don't know why they're sorry. I don't know how to turn off these notifications. They should, but they won't, and I don't know why. They're so. I think Rahm Emanuel said that the loudest voice is not always the most important, or something. But that's who they attract, are the loud voices. Instead, they're writing articles on how to be more authentic. I don't know if you saw the Washington Post article, is that, the key to winning 2026 and 2028 is to use more cuss words and to fight like Trump and to be Trumpier, right? And more aggressive and more offensive. And I'm like, the only reason that works is because it's Trump and that's who he is. That's his authentic style. And the other thing is, Trump rarely curses, right? If ever. He let off that one F-bomb when he was talking about peace in the Middle East and says they don't know what the bleep they're doing, which everyone kind of was like, oh, yeah, that's true. But, they don't get it. They don't understand how to talk to middle America because they've never been there. They don't understand, to your point earlier, that this is a losing issue for them. They can't get out of these elitist bubbles that they've created for themselves. And, why they stick to their guns on this, I don't know, because it's the loudest part of the party, but it's not going to win them any favors. The other thing I pointed out in a response to the Washington Post article is that if you need to write an article about how to be authentic, you're not authentic. And they can't do these long form podcasts. I think we saw Newsom kind of fumble with Sean Ryan. I mean, some people thought he was brilliant, but I think most people saw, like I did, it was humorous how he was responding. I don't know, he was all over the place because they don't have foundational principles. They go wherever the wind blows. And like you said, people see that. They go wherever they think they can get elected as opposed to standing on principles. So when they come against hard issues, they kind of have to flip-flop. They're trying to be everything to everybody as opposed to these are our values, these are our founding principles, right? I mean, conservatives to a certain extent do that. They're all members of politics. They're all playing the political game. But it's like, we know hard work, discipline, freedom. There's kind of some very genuine foundational principles that they can always fall back on. It doesn't seem like the Dems have that. They fall back on identity politics, which changes every week. So they've got to change every week.
What about J.B. Pritzker of Illinois? He fascinates me. Governor of Illinois. He's super fat, which I think makes him more relatable, especially with America today. I think a fat guy from Illinois could be threatening.
I don't think so. I mean, I think he's listen, say what you will. Trump's no male supermodel, but there's a certain he was a reality star, right? There's something attractive about him to some people, whether it's his personality or his sense of humor, even as kind of maybe inappropriate as it is. There's something that the American people related to. I don't think people, particularly with the Maha movement, as powerful as it is right now, and as many sweeping reforms as we're talking about health, it was a cornerstone of this past election. I think it's going to continue to be important. They look at JB, I don't know, I look at that guy and I'm just, I'm so turned off. I can't even look at him. So I don't think he's a viable option. But again, they never cease to amaze me, Jesse.
Tell me about the Maha movement. How are we doing on all that?
I think we're doing great. I think we're making strides. We have to remember that these are incremental changes. You know, the left will come and say like, "Oh, Coke changing from corn syrup to cane sugar, really that's a big win." And I'm like, "Well, it is kind of. Corn syrup's highly processed. We've got huge subsidies going to corn that make it an abundant kind of food product that fuels all this junk food." So I think we're making small wins. I'm really heartened by Marty McCary and the FDA's focus on particularly women's health. I think that's going to be a big issue. And if some of the liberal women can get out of their ideological bubbles, they would see that this is like huge. This has been a huge gap in health is women's issues and women's studies and HRT, hormone replacement therapy, and not sweeping menopause under the rug or infertility. These are all big issues. I think we might face some trouble in the midterms. Are these potential liability shields for pesticides? Because that's really where people were strong against in the pharmaceutical realm. And it's not an outright liability shield like we did with pharmaceutical companies, but it will make it very hard for people to bring cases against the companies that produce pesticides. So it kind of got snuck in a House appropriations bill. It hasn't been voted on completely yet, and then I think they're going to recess today for the summer. So we'll see. I think some Maha people are very upset about that, but these are all the things we're going to have to navigate through. The actual, the winning was kind of easy, the momentum, the excitement, make America healthy again. It's such a great tagline. Everybody wants to be healthier. No one wants to be subject to food addiction and all these things. This kind of biomedical security state, but now the hard work comes in making the policy and really convincing the members of Congress that this needs to be a priority or they'll lose a vote.
I always loved recess. It made me think about recess in school. I had so much fun. It was my favorite time. Jennifer, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I would thank you for coming to my YouTube channel, but I know how brilliant it is, and I know you love it here. So subscribe and watch. We're going to start really ramping things up and putting some funny stuff, some interesting stuff out there, some collaborations. Either way, my YouTube channel is officially the place to be. So stick around.